That's a sackaroonie, baby.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Ain't no party like a Bosa party.
Yeah.
There's nothing to get upset about now. There's nothing to get distracted with now. The 49ers are loaded. They are at full strength. They are ready to go. We'll let you hear more from the guys, including Kyle Shanahan, here in a little bit. We do want to go to the phones. Real quick, I want to mention why I'm calling the 49ers already 4-0. Yes, Cooper Kupp has been ruled out for this week. Remember, the Rams are week 2. So I think it's highly likely you don't even see Cooper Kupp week 2. Sean McVay today would not rule out putting Kupp on IR, which would be at minimum a long-term injury. I think the Rams are in low-key tank mode, and then there's high-key tank mode. Listen to this. The Cardinals will be in Washington this weekend for their opener. The Cardinals, this is according to Rap Sheet, Cardinals are expected to have Josh Dobbs as their starting quarterback this week, with rookie Clayton Tune as the backup. And then they will evaluate the situation each week. They are already heading in with no Kyler Murray. There's no experienced backup either, no Colt McCoy, and admitting already at week 1 that we're just going to kind of go week to week, almost like a baseball bullpen. Like, we'll just see how about this guy?
Sure.
The Cardinals are solely focused on Caleb Williams, and the 49ers have no excuse to not start this year at least 4-0.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the Pittsburgh game, even with Nick Bosa, and we don't know how much he'll play, that's not an easy game.
No.
And I don't think the point spread has moved at all. I think they're still favored by 2.5, so pretty bold of you.
Well, wait a minute. I want to be clear on what I mean by 4-0.
No, you already put it in the cap.
No,
you locked it up.
Meaning for the season. Meaning they play the Cardinals twice and the Rams twice.
Boy.
So
Let me
they're 4-0.
just go ahead and get to the chicken
They're
coop.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying those 4 are wins, no matter who's available. Don't take my Cadbury egg bit.
I've been doing the chicken cluck since back in the late 90s. I thought you were saying that they were going to be 4-0.
No, they are. They're already 4-0 as they arrive in Pittsburgh. They're already 4-0.
The disrespect that you're showing Josh Dobbs and some guy named Tooney.
They got 4
Looney Toonies.
Is it 4 in their back pocket?
Yeah.
They only got a 13-game schedule this year because they're already 4-0.
Can they go 9-4 in the remaining 13? And is that good enough to get the 1 seed?
I like their chances. I do. I got them at 12, but that's just a number. It's not by. I'm not going game by game. But
and we'll go to the phones in just a second. But the idea that Arizona would tank for Caleb Williams is interesting to me because they're on the hook for Kyler Murray until 2028 for the better part of $100 million.
You figure it out.
Yeah, but that's not what Arizona does.
That's what
they don't usually figure it out.
It's literally what they did to get Kyler. They had just drafted a quarterback 7th overall and then drafted him 1st overall.
Right, but they weren't on the hook for...
That's fair. Yes, that's correct.
They signed Calamari to a mega extension.
Which was stupid.
Right, which is what Arizona does.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, you follow stupid up with what? More stupid.
Stupid is as stupid does.
You ain't passing on
Forrest
Caleb
Gump.
Williams if you have a shot.
No, but you're probably trading the pick is what you're doing. Or you're taking an offensive lineman if you're in Arizona.
You're taking Caleb, you're putting him on a rookie deal, and Kyler can be your backup.
All right.
Okay. And then Jimmy Garoppolo will go on a podcast and say, totally weird situation. Let's go to Mike in Santa Rosa. Mike, thank you for calling Willard and Dibs. What are you doing?
I'm chilling. The view from the hood is all good. Bosa's signed. Listening to the finest sports station in the nation, 95.7 The Game.
Thank you, Mike.
Extremely happy. I knew it was going to happen all the time. Don't mind my blood pressure being 195 or 85 the last few weeks.
Right.
But, like you said, though, man, it makes sense. This all makes sense. And he's back, and we're stoked. And it's the red and gold. They're our boys. And the journey begins. They got no wins right now. And it's a long road to the playoffs.
Mike, doesn't it make 10 o'clock Sunday morning so much better, though? Doesn't it just
man.
It's such a palate cleanser, right?
Oh, yeah. It was, believe me, man, the way things were going here. And, I still, that sophomore jinx is hovering, over Brock, But But he looked really good in that preseason tune-up that he played. So, I figure he's going to be all right. And like you guys say, he's got a great team built around him. So, all should be good in Ninerland.
Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. That's like imagining. I think that was part of why I was feeling the way I was yesterday. Imagining sitting down at 10 a.m. on Sunday to watch this football game and watching the Steelers with the ball and watching Pickett. The first time he drops back, and you're like, I'm going to go through my progressions here.
Pickett steps back. He's got time.
Right, and second progression. No, that's not there. Let me look over here. My third. As soon as that happened, I'm going to be like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Pickett drops back with time, pumps again,
looks,
slides,
looking,
still looking, still looking.
I mean,
still pumping. Throws complete first down. It's just all of that. I'm with you.
Come on, man. So this sort of, it just clears the decks to where I feel like you can sit down on your couch, get your favorite drink, get your favorite food, and let's go. Like, just feel clean about at least the start of the year.
Yeah, and when that graphic comes up, and Pittsburgh has elected to take the football, and they'll start at their own 25. And let's give you a look at the Niners defense, and then that first graphic comes up.
There it is,
and it's Bosa, Armstead, Hargrave, Jackson. It's just look across, and then all right, show me the linebackers, baby.
Like,
show me those linebackers.
Everything
Daddy.
looks more daunting now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like that. That's why he got paid $34 million. Because when you look at the lineup and Nick's not in it, I'm like, well, yeah, that's a good player. That's a good player. That's a good player.
Good defense. But
it's just like, it doesn't freak you out. But those other players look so different with Nick on the field. Let's go over to the YouTube chat brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. Jim Mole, I think it's pronounced Mole, with a super chat. He says, I've got a couple of Steeler fans as buddies. They're almost as bummed that Bosa signed as we are stoked. ... Almost. Yeah. Mike Tomlin called it. He said it yesterday. We are expecting Bosa to play.
Yeah.
And he was right.
And I love the comment, too. He's like, it would be prudent to expect Bosa to play. Yes, Mike, it would be very prudent, as opposed to, guys, don't worry about it. We're not facing Nick Bosa. We don't have a thing to worry about. And what Tomlin actually said in his commentary, too, was, we had a guy a couple of years ago, JJ, who signed in the 11th hour, and he went out there and he did what JJ does. So I would expect if Nick signs that he'll do what they do. JJ did what he does. Nick will do what he does. And so Mike Tomlin, I'm sure he's quietly, privately, a little bummed that this deal got done before Sunday, but he knows what's coming his way.
I think this is the one right here. Mike Tomlin on preparing as if Bosa is going to be playing.
Yes, we are preparing for Bosa. It's prudent for us to assume that he is going to be there and prepare in that vein as opposed to be surprised. We were in a similar circumstance with a dynamic rusher a couple of years ago in TJ. We got a deal done at the 11th hour. He showed up in the stadium, and he was TJ Watt that day. And so that's what those guys do. They show up, and they are who they are. We know the type of player that he intends on being, and so that's something to be dealt with.
I expect Nick Bosa to be Nick Bosa on Sunday.
They do what they do. Those guys do what they do.
And did what you did for me.
To me, yeah. Which to my quarterback, which I'm sure Kenny Pickett is in Pittsburgh right now. He's like, damn it.
Damn it.
Totally.
Damn it, Farhan. No, that's not what he would say.
Why couldn't you wait until Monday to sign, Nick? Man.
By the way, I do want to just respond on air to another YouTube chatter that after Jim Mole got in the super chat, $5 to 95.7 the game for the super chat. See You Dad Loke asks, can you pay to insult Willard and have it read on the air? Yeah.
I got 5 on that.
You're damn right you can. In fact, it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Put your Venmo up there, and I got 5 on it. You got to take a good shot at him, though.
Yeah, you got one shot. Eminem, Mom Spaghetti.
Thank you.
Do not miss your chance to blow. Let's go to JJ in San Jose. Hey, JJ, what's good?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to John Lynch for not wavering and sticking to his guy. I think Lynch looks at Bosa as his guy, his all-timer. Even though he's got all-timers all over the squad, Bosa is that guy. And shout out to all the losers who wanted Bosa traded, because all the Niners did was give him that big 1-2-2, because Nick Bosa is now the money man.
It's a great uptick, JJ. Thank you for the tick.
And
also thank you for 1-2-2.
Not bad.
It's a good 1-2-2 in there.
Do we feel the way he does, though? Shout out to John Lynch, for sticking to guns. I think that's what he was saying. Is that what you were saying? Because I'm
gone.
Well, right, but did John Lynch, did he stick to his guns here, or did Bosa and his agent stick to their guns? I don't feel like the Niners.
I think he stuck to his guns.
I mean, did he?
Yes, they didn't panic, and they took attack.
They didn't panic. That's fair.
They took attack of, we're going to get this done. And you shared the Cam Inman timeline of stories on our in-show text thread that we have. And I thought it was interesting because neither side really showed any indication of panic. So to that extent, I agree with JJ. John Lynch stuck to his guns, which is, we're going to get this done. We're not going to find Nick for not being here. We're going to do what we can to make Nick whole, and we're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to take care of Nick, and this is going to get done. And even as we got into game week, Mark, he never panicked. They never blinked. And I talked yesterday about the F word, the franchise tag. Yeah. They never made anything threatening public to Nick or his representation. So to that extent, I do think that John Lynch stuck to his guns.
Well,
even though they might have lost the deal.
Well, and I don't know
if there's a winner and a loser.
No, they didn't lose the deal. Nick Bosa plays for them for the next 6 years.
Thank you, Doc Pandia.
You know what I mean?
Nick Bosa plays football today.
I'll never understand how we got to this day, but I also will take about another hour and a half before I don't care anymore. Nick Bosa's on the team. And again, that's why it never made sense. And this will surprise none of you with what I'm about to say here. The reason why I kept, being surprised yesterday, but kept total faith, not that he was going to play this weekend, but that this deal would happen before we got to Sunday. The reason why is my perception of NFL teams that let stuff like this get into the season is that you're poorly run. And the Niners aren't. I know in sports radio, we're supposed to just fold up our hot takes and get them in the envelope every day, put them in our back pocket and get to the show, and let's rip the team, and we're coming down people's road and we're keeping it real, and we're going to fire someone if that blank doesn't get filled in the way we want it.
Yeah.
All that crap.
I like edgy Mark.
The Niners are well run. They're not stupid. And Nick Bosa and his people, they run it well, and they're not stupid. And if this had gotten past Sunday, do you know what it would be, Dibs? Stupid.
I thought there was going to be $1 in there somewhere.
Sorry. It really would not have made sense. Now, I don't know why everybody needs to play footsies until 4 days before the game. I don't know why. But they did, and deadline spur action. But the reason I kept, not even just that, faith isn't even the right word. I don't know, my sensibilities.
It was a quiet confidence.
My sensibilities about it were the Niners are not dumb. You don't have a roster like this when you're dumb. They're not cheap, and they're not dumb.
Well,
and one of those, if not both of them, would have needed to be true for this not to happen.
I think that it would have been cheap if the deal didn't get done because they were down in the $29 million level. And I don't know how dumb it would have been unless it dragged out a long time, past a couple of weeks and the team lost and all the rest of it. I do think from Nick Bosa's side, in terms of why did it take so long, if it wasn't the price being met where he wanted it to be, and I do think that was part of it, but I also think there was a sense of, why do I need to come in any sooner than today? Or in this case, tomorrow. So tomorrow, he shows up, and I wonder if the team will make him available. They don't have to. I think tomorrow's a Steve Wilkes day, so Steve can take the podium and gush about how great it is to have 97 back. And, boy, our defense got a whole lot better today, and I can't wait to coach him up. And, God, he's ferocious, and he came in great shape, and all the rest of the cliche stuff that we're going to hear. But if you're Nick Bosa and you realize what preseason would have been for Nick Bosa, you're not playing in any of the 3 games.
Right.
Trent Williams didn't. He didn't. I don't even know if Fred Warner played. He might have played a little tiny bit.
Did he get out there for
maybe
few?
a series?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But Nick's at a level where you're not going to play him anyway. And as long as you come in shape, and this is Nick Bosa thinking, let me just train at home in Florida, and we'll work this out when we work it out, and I'll come in when the time is right, and the time is now right. So here he comes.
Speaking of gushing, that's what all the players and coaches were doing. Kyle Shanahan said they were preparing to not have Bosa, ... but.
Not good thoughts. But, when you feel it's kind of, you try not to think about it much because it's not really in my control, and you just got to let the process play itself out. Once it kind of went through the weekend, I just kind of got in my mind that we weren't playing with them. Because if I would have gone back and forth, that would have been miserable. So I just decided we weren't. I think our team was ready to not, and that was our mindset this way. And it was a hell of a bonus to just get told that coming in here. So we're obviously real excited about it.
Hell of a bonus. Hell of a bonus.
Yeah, $50 million bonus is what it is.
Can I share this real quick? I do think this stuff's funny. And it doesn't matter, and I get why they say it this way. I think it's adorbs. It's Sacramento King adorable. When people like Kyle Shanahan come to the microphone and they're like, I just found out 5 minutes ago, right when you guys did. This is crazy. How awesome is this? No, you didn't. Kyle.
I'm sure he found out that it was actually done 5 minutes ago. I believe him.
You think Adam Schefter knew before Kyle?
No, but I think that, when Kyle took to the podium, which was about 12:40, and the news broke at about 12:45, I think that Kyle found out about the same time that Adam Schefter did in terms of it being officially done.
See, I bet, and there's no way for me to ever prove this, so whatever.
Sure.
I bet Kyle Shanahan went to bed last night and completely knew that they were going to wake up.
Well, yeah.
And they were going to put a couple of dot a couple I's, cross some T's. Remember, Nick's in Florida, okay?
Sure.
So the day's already almost over. When if it's 12:40 out here, it's 3:40 out here, right? We got an hour 20 business hours left. I mean, I never buy that stuff when they make it sound like they found out 2 minutes before we found out.
I think that he went to bed, and it's like when you're watching an NFL game and you give the ball to a guy at the 1 yard line and he dives and he breaks the plane and it's a touchdown. But there's that small chance that maybe the nose of the ball didn't get across the goal line. So
I guess.
They have to review all scoring plays. So he went to bed knowing that they had the touchdown, but you're waiting for the official review. And the official review comes when, the word comes across, okay, he has put pen to paper. Now it's officially official. So I take him at his word as far as that goes.
How many snaps for Nick?
Realistic amount of snaps for Sunday.
How many snaps are in the game? I'm just joking. We got to see when he gets here. I know Nick will come in shape. I know he'll be good. It'd be great if he could get into something today. I don't know when he's going to get here or where he's flying from. But I mean, we'll be smart with it, and that'll be based off of these next 2.5 practices.
And by the way, we said, I hope he gets here today. So when he says 2.5 practices, maybe he was actually hoping that Nick would be there to get a little work in before the day's over. I don't know what Kyle considers practice. Sure, there's the on-field stuff. There's the off-field stuff. There's meetings. Those happen in the morning. They happen in the night. I don't know exactly what he means by that, but that's his answer about snaps. What about this question? Is there any chance that Nick is not active on Sunday?
Is there any question at this point whether he's going to be in uniform on Sunday?
I mean, there is question because we haven't seen him, but I think you guys know how I'm talking. Like, you have to have a beer belly and be out of shape or something. That's not in Bosa's DNA.
All right, so yeah, Nick and a beer belly. Other than that, we're going to see Bosa on Sunday.
Right. And in terms of snap count and how many snaps, and he joked about it, how many snaps will there be? if you look at his percentages, and again, this is where it varies game to game, for the most part, Nick Bosa gets around 70% of the snaps in a game where he comes in and he's healthy and he's Nick Bosa. Last year against Carolina, he played in 38% of the snaps. They won that game 37-15. So that was one of those games where, like a Steph Curry game where you win by 38 and Steph plays 24 minutes, that's kind of what that was. But last year, he went 78%, 73, 77, 78, 66, 83. Nick Bosa is not an every down guy. Nobody is with Chris Kasarik. They rotate their guys. Now, will he be a little bit lower than his norm, which is 70 to 75%? Perhaps.
Maybe, and also game flow.
Exactly.
Right? Are you up by 21? Are you down by 21? Are you tied?
If it's a tight game in the fourth quarter, he's going to play. And if you need somebody to get to the quarterback and it's 17-17 and Pittsburgh's got the ball on your 40 with 7 minutes to go, Nick Bosa's playing.
Right.
And that's where this all is kind of variable based on, like you said, down and distance, game situation, all the rest of it.
He's a game winner, man. You're absolutely right. If this is close, because I think back to last year, that game in Vegas against the Raiders, which might have been from start to finish the worst 49er defensive performance of the year, I thought. Remember the Raiders and Jarrett Stidham just went up and down the field on the 49er defense. It was an odd day, and their offensive line did great things, but they got to overtime. And what happened? This was actually my favorite Nick Bosa play of the year. It wasn't a sack.
Rooney.
He got to Stidham. He didn't sack Stidham, but he got to Stidham, and he hit the arm. He hit the arm while it was in motion, and the ball is flying through the air at Allegiant Stadium, and Nick, like as it's coming down, he's already celebrating. He's got his arms in the air, and he's running to the sideline because he knows Tashawn Gibson is parked under that thing like a center fielder. He's going to catch it, and he had the whole right side of the field to himself, and he returned it all the way inside the 10. Robbie wasn't going to miss from there.
Night.
Deuces.
Yeah.
It is gone.
Thank you.
But caught.
Yeah.
So, you're right. If it's close, you're probably that snap count's going to go up because he can go in there and affect the game.
86% of the snaps in that game, and you look at the playoffs against Seattle, he played 59%. That game got ugly in the Niners' favor in the second half. 89% against Dallas, 80% against Philadelphia. So in the big games, he does play almost the whole game. I would expect on Sunday, he plays about 60 to 65%, which normally is about 45 snaps a game.